Tonight Show, all the ingredients for a perfect lineup. Sous chef?
Yes, chef.
Hey, have we got a pop superstar?
Yes, chef.
Two top British actors?
Yes, chef.
A legendary dame?
Yes, chef.
The amazingly talented star of the new film Burn?
Yes, chef.
I thought so. Ooh, I tell you what else we need. We need a charismatic, debonair, and hilarious host.
That might be pushing it, chef.
Charming. Let's start the show! All excited about Halloween? Yeah, that's a real thing that's really happening. And have you all got your pumpkins carved, your costumes ready, have you? Well, if you haven't, here's a handy tip. Why not combine the two? Run! Now, ladies and gentlemen, no tricks tonight, just treats. We've got a really fantastic lineup for you tonight. Later, we'll have music from the one and only Mr. Justin Bieber. Yeah. Justin Bieber, right there. What do you mean? And before that, how fantastic is this? Making her first appearance on a British chat show in 42 years will be Dame Maggie Smith. Yes! It's true. Yes, her last British chat show was 1973. You weren't born, were you? You weren't born. No, still called not born. Honestly, she is delighted. You should have seen her face when she heard she was coming on this show. Dame Maggie, we talk about her new film, The Lady in the Van, with our co-star Alex Jennings. But let's get our first guest star. She is the homegrown actress whose Hollywood stars risen with her recent performances in Foxcatcher and American Sniper. Now starring in the new kitchen drama Burnt. Please welcome Sienna Miller, everybody. Who since received 3 Oscar nominations in a row for Silver Linings Playbook, American Hustle, and American Sniper. It is a warm welcome back to Mr. Bradley Cooper, everybody! Oh, that's a pretty couch, isn't it? It really is.
It is.
Sienna Miller looks like an Oscar. You look fabulous.
Quite sparkly.
Thanks. Very sparkly. Yeah, we all look
not
great.
really shabby.
Yeah, all right, yeah, whatever. Old ugly corner over here. Now,
I was just thinking about, I know we were like going way off, but do you remember the first time I ever came on here? Because we were just talking about, she's never been on this show before.
no, I know.
Which is amazing.
No, I'm aware of that, Brett.
But it is quite, it's a unique environment because it's very, you're very vulnerable, really, because it's, I don't know, it just feels...
I feel quite shy.
But I remember the first time I was on. Do you remember the first time when Liam Neeson was late and we were on for like an hour and a half? We were on out here.
What was he doing?
He was just late because he was coming from another
Rescuing
job
his
or something.
daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you sing songs and things?
Yeah, we did everything.
Yeah, the guitar came out. Now, one of the great, we'll talk about Burnt more, but one of the things that struck me is that London looks fabulous.
Oh, yeah, they did a
It
great
really
job.
does, doesn't it?
It looks so good in this movie. And for you, Sienna, is it nice to kind of be filming in London? Because when you filmed in London before, people taking pictures and paparazzi, but you don't really have that so much in
No, not at all, so it was great.
How did the shutters come down on that?
I secretly filmed them on what looked like a lighter, but was actually a camera for about 2 years. It was proper spy stuff. And basically built up a case and then took it to court and got an injunction so that it's illegal for them to kind of follow or sit outside the house. I mean, if you're coming out somewhere like a premiere, then you can expect it, but anywhere else.
And I just have to say real quick, so she told me this, and I was doing the Elephant Man, and sometimes paparazzi would follow us. So I had my buddy meet me at the, have a camera at the side of the place where I was staying, and another friend in the back of the car, and the guy who I drive with, George, his uncle, who's a black cab driver, come, and we had this whole thing we were going to get them. No one followed us. I like it, I'm like, go. And on my cell phone, like, here's the thing, I got him. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But in the States, you do get bothered, don't you?
Yeah, but not that much, you know. It's not that bad. I mean, it's more in Europe or something. Like, if you go on vacation, sometimes you get just murdered, yeah.
But there was an unfortunate paparazzi shot.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, you have a sixth sense of when you're getting captured. Yeah, this was a couple years ago, but I do remember being outside. I lived in this little house in Venice, and there was the front door just opened right to the street, and I was putting my dog, I think, in the back of the truck or something, and I was sort of bent down like this, and you could hear the click. You know, you just hear it. You get used to that clicking sound. I thought, oh, yeah, these pants are really, like, they're... Oh, I think my ass is hanging out. and then, like, you know, you go online, you're like, yep, there, they got it.
No, in fairness, they did. We've got it there.
Yeah, there it is. That was my dog.
Very good. All right, listen, Burnt opens next Friday, which is the 6th. This movie, so it's about a chef, but it is the first film I've seen that I think really captures that kind of stress and how thrilling it is to be in a proper kind of kitchen, a proper catering kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, we tried to do that.
So in this, you are kind of former wild child who's trying to kind of redeem himself.
Yes. Yeah, it's a guy who had a lot of success early on in Paris. He was a young chef, blew it all up, and then you meet him. He's has a self-imposed penance in New Orleans where he wanted to shuck a million oysters to sort of clear his head. And then go to London and try to basically regain his place in the culinary world. And I worked in kitchens, and I know that you have a lot of experience. Yeah. And we know what it's like. I mean, the pressure is just like nothing else. But this level, this 2 Michelin star, 3 Michelin star, I've never experienced. And we've got to train with some amazing chefs, but that world is just, right? I mean,
because you play the protege.
A sort of sous chef, yeah.
But better than that.
Well, I think so. But, but technically, yes. A sous chef with an interesting haircut.
Yeah, she showed up. I begged her to do the movie. We were doing American Sniper, and I knew I was going to do this next, and I begged her to do it. And then she showed up on set the first day with the back of her head shaved, tattoos all over, and just sort of like this like really tough thing. It was like, well, she's just incredible. If you see the movie, she is really like unbelievable. You saw it.
Yeah, seriously.
She's really unbelievable in the
but
movie.
you're both great in it.
Oh,
thanks.
thanks. Yeah. But she really is like incredible.
So is he.
But the training, is it one of those things? Is it a skill you learn so you can do it in that moment? Or can you now recreate that food in your house?
A lot of things go in and out for me. Yeah. You train a lot, you can do it for that time, and then it's kind of gone.
What about you?
Well, I can cook fish really well because I think I must have cooked about 500 pieces of it during filming, and I couldn't do that before, so that stayed. But I got taught how to fillet a turbot, which sounds like a really inane thing to be able to do. But until you see what a turbot is, it's like a rhinoceros basically that's been squashed. It's like leather. So it was a really impressive thing to do. So I went off to the farmer's market. I was like, I'll have a whole turbot, please. This was the other day. Took it home and I got there with the knife, and it's a fortune. It's like the most expensive fish, and I just hacked at it, and it was just awful.
Got kitchen scissors out.
Yeah,
and we
my
did all the
child
cooking.
started crying. Looking at it. I was like, shut up.
And we were really doing it. That was a functioning kitchen, and all the other people in it were actually chefs in Michelin star restaurants. We were the only actors. So we would do like 25-minute takes, and we were actually, it was crazy. But I do remember, I just thought of this now. So there's one scene where I'm cooking grouse, and they had all this, these birds, and I'm sitting there, and I was leaning up against it. And I thought I have a pretty, I'm okay with stuff. And I was like this, and I thought I was going to faint. I was going to pass out. There was something about because I had to cut the head off and everything. And I remember, and this is, I stayed after because I wanted to make sure there were no close-ups that weren't my hands. And it was like a big deal because they're like, okay, fine. I'm like, no, I want to do it, but it takes more time and everything because I'm not a real chef. Yeah. And I remember I was like, oh my God, I'm going to pass out. The whole day is going to be gone. So I just was like this, and thank God, I remember I was just leaning, and I had the, like, as close as I could, and I was like, and then my hands started shaking, and it was really intense. I mean, it's crazy what they do.
Because it's a bit like the fashion world. Because
that helped, right? Whatever this was.
Yeah.
The picture right for you. You really got a sense of it. I had to stand up for that.
Yeah. Have you trained as a mime? Because that was pretty incredible there.
Tommy DeLonge, let me tell you.
I saw the grouse. Listen, let's watch a clip from Burnt. Now, this is you both in the kitchen discussing your philosophy of food.
Cooking's an expression of what? Tell me.
At its best, of sustaining someone with love.
Adam Jones, the Langham, is now one of the best and most interesting places in London to come and eat.
Which part of that don't you like, one of or interesting?
I don't want my restaurant to be a place where you come and eat. I mean, we should be dealing in culinary orgasms. When's the last time you had an orgasm that was interesting?
I mean, never, ever to discuss food with you in public.
People eat because they're hungry. I want to make food that makes people stop eating.
You're being stupid.
Cooking is an expression of who we are, and right now we're 2 stars, both of us. It's a 2-star review. Now we can keep on cooking and be interesting, but I want people to sit at that table and be sick with longing. and I need you to do it with me.
That's you.
Yeah, it's really amazing, yeah.
Bradley Cooper and little Lord Fauntleroy kneading dough.
But also, it never struck me, I think I heard you in an interview talking about a bit of restaurant etiquette that none of us would have thought of.
Yes. Well, in a Michelin star restaurant, the food can only sit on the pass before it's picked up by a waiter and delivered for 2 minutes. And if it's longer than that, they throw it away. So if you're having had your starter sitting at your table and some arsehole stands up to go for a wee, and it takes longer than 2 minutes, then they have to start again.
Yeah.
So, or like if somebody goes for a fag or whatever, you know, these days. So it's a real juggling act. It's
Well,
and then
the real
you
thing.
just don't consider it. So they're sitting there and someone stands up and they're like...
You can't smoke in restaurants anymore, which is a nightmare for the kitchen. Because people are constantly going up, yeah.
Mind you, I think it's worse. You know when the food arrives and someone says, oh, I'm just going to go to the toilet?
That is worse.
Like they're making room.
They look at the size of the plate.
Yeah. Back in a minute. I can gauge it now. I wasn't sure what I was getting. This requires a toilet trip.
Oh, my God.
And now, the thing I want to know, is it true, the thing in the film, or are we allowed to say this?
Say it.
The thing about how you can spot the
Michelin.
inspectors. How you can
It's
spot
even more
the
crazy than that. Yeah, I mean, the fork maybe is a little general, but they have, in certain kitchens, they have actual, like, mug shots, like, all these photographs of people that who they think are part of the Michelin Guide, so they're constantly looking at. It's unbelievable,
It's
the
really
depths to which they go
secretive, though.
through.
It's really hard for them to know. There are still... Mario Batali was saying, he's like, it's still such
It's harder in America, but in Europe, it's easier.
Is it the same guys who go all around Europe?
There's like, I don't know, there's like 40 or 50 of them or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the thing...
I kind of made that number up.
Yeah. That felt right. I believed it. I was there.
It was
I was
scary.
there. But the putting the fork under the table,
Yeah.
explain that to them.
Well, it's this idea of that they'll put like a fork under the table to see if anybody notices it, all these little things.
But they don't drop the fork.
No, they'll place it under this and you don't
As
notice it, and then
quietly
see
as
if you...
possible to see if
yeah, to see
someone-
if they'll notice, oh, there's a missing fork, where is it?
Wow. Now, don't try that at Nando's. I imagine it was... Now, we've all...
What is Nando's? I don't even
It's
know.
like a chicken burger.
We have Nando's, bro.
Nando's is here, but you don't have it in America.
No, you'd love it, though. He would like
What
it.
what is it?
It's like chicken. A lot of chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken place?
Chicken done several ways.
I like that. That could be on their poster
Right.
now. Sienna Miller, it's like chicken.
Yeah.
Because we all worked at a restaurant. Were you a waitress, Sienna?
I was for a day.
Oh, only a day?
Yeah, I did very well.
Oh, what
I
happened?
had several very short-time jobs. That was... some man was inappropriate and I accidentally, / on purpose, poured pasta on his lap.
Oh, don't mess with Sienna.
I know.
That's good.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah. And what happens then? Do you just walk out, or do you...
It was a mutual... It didn't work. Not either of us.
Because you were a busboy away...
I was everything. Yeah, I was a busboy when I was 15 at a Greek restaurant, and then I was a prep cook at an Italian place between high school and college, and then through college I was the worst waiter in the world. Horrible waiter.
Were you genuinely bad, or you just
Genuinely
hated it?
bad. No, I was bad. So
Okay.
much so that I remember the guy who hired me was like, his friend, Bradley, you are literally the worst waiter I've ever seen, but you have sad eyes, I will keep you. And you know what? You know what's so funny? I'm still friends with him, and he's the manager of this restaurant called Cafe Milano in Washington, D.C., and I see him all the time.
Oh, wow. But in the film you do speak French.
In Burnt, yes.
And you speak French as well.
I speak a line of French, but he can actually speak fluent French. Yeah, ooh la la.
And that's because... Didn't you study there when you were...
I did, yeah. When I was spring semester, my junior year in college, I went to the South and studied there.
So how would you urge people to go and see Burnt in French? That was good. Already very French. You're in it. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Brûlé. Somebody's gonna be called in French.
It's got a vif. But I like brulee. They should do that instead. A vif.
A vif.
A vif.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
You say
Burnt.
fluent.
It means burnt.
Yeah, well cooked. It's not very bad. Now, the other thing, very quickly, since we last saw you, you took the most famous selfie in the world at the Oscars.
By mistake, really.
What do you mean?
I mean, it wasn't planned. I was actually trying to... I completely messed up Ellen DeGeneres' joke. She was trying to make a joke about trying to her and Meryl Streep, they were going to take a selfie and that she couldn't take it. And I was sitting in the same row, and I thought, oh, my God, this is like, something's wrong. Ellen's like, you know, it's live. So I was like, I'll just get up and take it for them. so I grabbed it, I'm like, here, and I was like, Bradley, no, I got it, Bradley. And if you actually watch it, I'm sure you can see that she's constantly saying, Bradley, it's okay, Bradley, it's okay. No, I got it. And then she just made this call. She's like, everybody just started coming behind her. And it turned out to this whole thing. And then so she started taking it, but I was there, my arm was long, and then I took over. I'm like, I got it, Ellen, I got it.
We got it. Here it is. You're so good. Now, who's that you didn't quite get?
That's Jared Leto, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Angelina Jolie didn't quite grasp the concept. You've got to be able to see yourself.
Liza Minnelli didn't make it, but
oh,
she
no,
was
that's that terrible shot.
Yeah, the shot from...
It's like something out of Harry Potter.
Yeah,
The evil beast is attacking them.
It was.
And this guy, I wish I knew his name, but I just know.
Lupita Young's brother.
Which is so sweet that he just kind of went, I'll do it.
Yeah. And by the way, the most real estate. Look how much space he has.
Yeah. Poor old Meryl, she's hardly in it.
I like Kevin Spacey. That's
his
like the
face
perfect...
is brilliant. He's about to launch
Yeah, look at
the music.
I found my space and my light. So, selfie, the whole selfie thing, it's really, that was kind of the most famous.
Right.
And now, of course, selfies are everywhere and everyone takes selfies. Now, there is a new sort of selfie. Are you aware of this thing, nutscaping?
No, but I can't wait.
No, what's that?
Do you know what nutscaping is?
No.
Okay. So, what you do is you're out in a boot and you see just a wonder of nature, beautiful scenery, a landscape, as it were, and then you nutscape it.
Get your nuts out.
Yeah. You drop your testicles into the... So, a picture paints 1,000 words. This is the website, Nutscape. So, that's it right there. That's essentially it.
Am I crazy? That's one nut.
No,
Well, no.
2 nuts.
Oh, that's 2 nuts?
They are outside.
Okay.
They are outside. A lot of them
Two
quite
becomes
chilly.
one, yeah.
Look at that. I mean,
That's not a nut. That's an eclipse.
but that's the same. Oh, look off to the
creepy
side
one
there.
there. Look at that.
That's very odd. Oh, look at that little one.
That's not a nut. That's a
I don't know. No, now this. I love that.
Get that checked.
There's the.
There's something wrong with
Look
that
at the
nut.
shadow it's making over the...
Where's my favorite one? Oh, look at the hair on that one. Look at those cows. Where's my favorite one? My favorite one is so beautiful. It's it's incredibly artistic. Check that out. Wow. That's an landscape right there. It's beautiful. Listen, it has been absolutely lovely talking to both of you. Good luck with the movie Burnt. It opens next Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Sienna Miller and Bradley Cooper. To my next guest tonight. One is a multi-award-winning actor who gave us his Prince Charles in the film The Queen. The other is possibly this country's most treasured actress, a double Oscar winner, and the main reason the world loves Downton Abbey. They're currently starring together in a big screen adaptation of Alan Bennett's The Lady in the Van. Here they are in action.
Was the van in your drive? That never occurred to me. I didn't know. It might not be convenient.
No, I've thought it over. Believe me, Miss Shepherd, it's all right. Just till you sort yourself out.
Well, not convenient for you. Convenient for me. You're not doing me a favour, you know. I have got other fish to fry. A man on the pavement told me if I went south of the river, I'd be welcomed with open arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alex Jennings and Dame Maggie Smith. It's a big deal. They don't stand up for people.
Did they stand up?
They did. Not all of them, but some of them did. The ones that could did.
Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
No, we're thrilled. We never thought this day would come.
No, neither did I. It's a long time since the last one.
And Alex Jennings, sorry, I'm ignoring you. Hello.
I was... hello.
You're both so good in this film. You are both terrific. It's really fantastic. The Lady in the Van, it opens on the 13th of November.
Which is a Friday. Say no more.
And we get in that clip, we kind of got the idea that you are the lady in the van.
Yeah.
But Miss Shepherd was real.
Miss Shepherd was very real. And very scary, I think. Very, very frightening. But no, she was real, and the fact that Alan put up with her for so long is just beyond anybody's comprehension. Nobody understands that. I don't
15
think he
years.
15. She was in that van outside his window.
Yeah, because the film begins with him describing the smell.
Oh, don't.
And you play... Well, you play two different versions of Alan Bennett.
I do play two different versions of Alan Bennett. The sort of the writer who's observing Alan Bennett, as it were, having a life or not having a life, and wishing he was having a more exciting life, so he could write about things other than old ladies.
And was Alan Bennett there the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was creepy. So there were so many of them. They were everywhere. They were all over Gloucester Crescent, was it?
It was Gloucester Crescent,
Yeah.
and we filmed it in the house where it all happened.
But that's extraordinary, because that never happens with a film, where you actually get to film
No.
it on the street.
We were there, and the van was there.
Did the neighbours think, oh, my God, she's back? It's like...
I think the ones that remembered it were frightened. I think Jonathan Miller looked a bit...
He did.
He looked a bit worried.
He wandered into shot a couple of times.
Yes.
Because it's quite a starry street, isn't it? It's quite...
I think that's what they said. I kind of didn't notice. I was in the van most of the time. But Jonathan Miller appeared once or twice looking a bit fed up, which is not surprising because there was all that stuff going on in your street is not amusing.
Well, you say you were in the van. Like, how much time did you spend in the van, and how unpleasant does it get in the van?
It was very... What was difficult, as you might say, was getting in and out of it.
Yes.
And how the hell that woman did it. I mean, you just can't imagine, because it's the smallest space, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to think, we're talking for a very long time. And she... I don't want to go into it, but she did everything there.
She did.
Go no further, but she did. She did everything.
Over the course of the filming, apparently, I think you were saying, Alex, that the van was shared.
Yes, there was... So we were filming in Alan's house, and the van was back in the street. And it was disgusting. I mean, it was full of old bits of old vegetables and...
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Sanitary ware hanging
Oh,
up to
don't.
and...
It wasn't mine, it was Miss Shepherd.
It was. And there was some kind of clearly token security when we weren't filming there. And security came in one morning, we were due to start shooting, I don't know, quite early in the morning, and discovered 4 feet kind of poking out the end of the van. And 2 Camden Town revellers had broken into the van and spent the night in it. And they got rid of them, cleaned the van out of all this stuff, cleaned it, put it back before she came on set.
She.
And didn't tell Maggie.
They didn't tell me. They didn't dare. Everybody was
Don't tell
sworn to
Maggie.
secrecy. Oh, don't tell Maggie. Don't. What they thought I would do, I don't know, because I was sorely tempted to come like Miss Shepherd tonight. Awful thing of what should I wear? What should I wear? And I feel sort of haunted by her because she lived in Storrington, which is quite near where I live. I lived in a village next, or the little place next. They sort of... She was in a nunnery because she was wanting... Or I don't know whether she wanted to become a nun, but it was certainly one of the ideas of the family. I think they thought it was a good idea to, I think, do that. And there used to be a huge nunnery in Storrington. And when I go in there, which I do sometimes, I go to Waitrose and various things, and I always think, well, I wonder what it was like when she was here, you know, as a sort of young person, and it's very odd playing a person who's real, which is what you found, isn't it?
Mm.
So you've got Alan Bennett on one side, but then, and you know, even the fact that they wouldn't tell you that people were in the van. I mean, is it kind of intimidating when Dame Maggie Smith is on the set for you, not for you? I point around you. I point around you.
No, it's not intimidating. We've worked...
Yes, it is.
There's the odd moment.
I'll tell you something, I was much more intimidated because every single person on that set had been at the National with Nick Heitner, or they'd been in the History Boys. So I was such an outsider you wouldn't believe. I really felt that I ought to audition. I really
Well,
did.
you did the play, that...
No, but I felt like an outsider.
Audition.
You were all very cliquey.
Were we?
Yes, you were. And it made me feel very, very not wanted. So I don't know why you were.
But actually, you do know what it's like from the other side, because I've read in interviews you talked about how intimidating you found it when you, back in the 60s, when you worked with Laurence Olivier.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because it sounds like he was very tough.
Well, yes, but I mean, I think everybody who worked with him were, I mean, they were in awe. And he hit me very hard one night.
You're kidding?
No, I'm not.
On stage?
Yes, he was a bit cross with me. And at one point he had to say, "Out, devil." And he slapped me. And I hit the floor, and I think it was Edward Featherbridge, who was a Venetian gentleman, apparently said, "Oh, Mags." I don't remember, because I literally went out, and I remember saying, well, I did see stars at the National Theatre. I really did.
But when you did Desdemona to his Othello, it does sound like you gave as good as you got.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's... You mean... Oh,
yeah.
Yes, this was when he was doing Othello, and he was wearing all that makeup, all that... And I used to stick his eyelashes on for him, because he had these great big eyelashes. And he said, well, I went in one night and he said, "Oh, darling Maggine, I've been meaning to tell you, I think your vowels are not really very good, so could you watch it?" Anyway, so I went in the next night to do the eyelashes and things, and said, "How now, brown cow?" And he didn't get it.
But you asked me what it's like, you know, being with Maggie is, you know, it's working with the best, because she is the best.
No, she is. She's the best.
I know that's not true.
So and before you film or before you go on stage, you're getting, like, fantastic nuggets about Noel Coward and Laurence Olivier, or being taught Polari by Kenneth Williams, or working with Betty Davis.
Yeah.
And she's really naughty as well.
But the thing is, you have had this extraordinary career, and, you know, I mentioned the Oscars in the introduction and things, but Harry Potter, weirdly... But that did sort of change your life in a way.
Well, yes, a lot of very small people kind of used to say hello to me, and that was nice. It was a whole different lot of people.
Yes, but also so weird that they'd only know you for that one thing, like you'd never existed before.
No, I never had. And except one kid once said to me, he said, were you really a cat?" And I heard myself say, "Just pull yourself together." How could I have been?
So there's the Harry Potter bit of your life, which kind of changed your life. But then Downton comes along. Is that one of those things where you thought you were famous till you were in Downton?
No, I didn't think that at all. It's only since Downton that people seem to know, you know, who stopped me and asked me. But it's only since Downton, and that's television for you.
Yes, it's common.
It's television. But funnily enough, I was in Waitrose in Storrington, my favourite, and a little boy was at the checkout with his mother, and he kept looking at me, and I thought, what am I going to do about it? And he kept looking at me and looking at me. And I said, can I help you? And he said, it's all right, it'll come to me in a minute. I thought it was so sweet. So lovely. It'll come to me.
But the people coming up to you now, like, very Americans are very, well, you know, they're not shy Americans.
No, well, no.
No.
But I don't go anywhere, really, where they can get at me. It's usually in museums and art galleries and things, so that limits things. I keep away from there, and Harrods I don't go near.
So are you in a way sort of glad that Downton's over?
Oh, yeah. No, I really am. No, because, honestly, she was about... By the time I finished, she must have been 110. So I couldn't go on and on and on. I couldn't. It just didn't make sense.
I know, Alex, I know you're a big Downton fan.
I am. I shouted it a lot.
You haven't seen it.
I do, yeah, we watch it, and we shouted it, because I'm not in it.
Have you ever watched Downton? No.
I've got the box set.
Now, we hear, and I don't know, because you run in rich circles, exotic circles, have we had a good authority that the actual Queen watches Downton Abbey? Because we hear that she's a fan.
You're not supposed to talk about what...
Okay.
The Queen... No. I was told that she did, but then I have been told by another gentleman who works in those establishments that she likes Midsummer Murder.
Who does?
It's okay. I didn't take it badly. That's okay.
And of course, Alan Bennett isn't the first real person you played, because you played Prince Charles.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I did. And one of the reviews said, why have they cast somebody who looks like George Bush? Who I also played.
But you know Prince Charles, don't you?
Well, I wouldn't say I know him. I mean, he's the patron of an actors' charity that I'm kind of involved in. Oh, yeah. Yes.
You're in love with him. Look at you. That's the funniest thing anyone's ever said.
Give me an OBE. Yes, he hasn't seen The Queen, I know.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean The Queen, the film.
The Queen.
But his wife has. She
Did you like it?
She did like it, yeah. She asked me, she said, what was it like playing my husband?
Oh.
What a terrible flirt.
She was quite twinkly.
Very nice.
She's very good news,
She's
I think.
really very, very good.
And actually, talking about it, clearly, you are Dame Maggie Smith. We know that. But
I'm not that when I'm working.
Oh, so on a poster it will just say...
No, it just says... yeah, because you don't use it professionally.
Okay. But
Unless you're... Who is it? It's the King Bensley.
Yeah.
very quickly, we must just mention your other incredible honour, which is a very elite group. It's the Order of the Companions of Honour, which is... That's a super special thing.
It's very grand.
Yes. I think... Have we got a picture? Is that you getting the...
Yes. Good hat, isn't it?
It's a very good hat. Yes, good hat, good shoe, good dress.
Yeah.
Good hat. And how does that happen, if you know what I mean? How do you join that very elite group?
Well, it sort of happens when people die. You take their place.
Oh, I see. Oh, right.
So there aren't many of them.
Oh, I see. So there's a fixed number.
There's a fixed number, so if they just hang around a bit, there'll be another vacancy.
Listen, it has been wonderful to meet you both. Please don't wait another 42 years till you come and see us again. We'll put it in the books now.
Yeah,
We'll put it in the books now.
Okay.
Lady in the Van is such a funny, sweet film. It opens on the 13th of November. I urge you to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jennings and Dame Maggie Smith! It is time for our musical guest tonight. This man went from YouTube sensation to bona fide global superstar. Believers rejoice, he's back with his brand new #1 hit single, What Do You Mean? Please welcome Mr. Justin Bieber!
what do you mean? Oh, when you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no, what do you mean? Yeah, you don't want me to move, but you tell me to go, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Said you're running out of time, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Better make up your mind, what do you mean? You're so indecisive, what I'm saying. Trying to catch the beat, make up your heart. Don't know if you're happy or complaining. Don't want for us to win, where do I start? Cause you wanna go to the left, and wanna argue up there, make a love all night. Put you up, then you down, and then between. Oh, I really wanna know, what do you mean? When you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Yeah. Tell me, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Said you're running out of time, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? You're overprotective when I'm leaving. Trying to compromise, but I can't win. You wanna make a point, but you keep preaching. You had me from the start, won't let this end. Cause you wanna go to the left, and you wanna argue all day, make a love all night. Put you up, then you down, and in between. Oh, I really wanna know, what do you mean? Oh, when you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no, what do you mean? Yeah, you don't want me to move, but you tell me to go, what do you mean? I wanna know, since you're running out of time, what do you mean? What do you mean? Better make up your mind, what do you mean? Don't be a savage, baby, yeah. Come on, jump, get up, yeah. You don't want me to move, but you tell me to go, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Said you're running out of time, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Better make up your mind, what do you mean?
This is Justin Bieber, everybody! Genius, thank you very much. It's fantastic. Glad you for doing that. Big congratulations. That's all. It's #1 everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, and that must be like, it must be a relief because
No,
you
it
guys
is.
bring out new material and yeah.
It feels really good to just have people accept the music and not be about, you know, my personal life, but be about the music. And that's why I started in the first place. So it feels really good because I'm growing up and my music is growing up. And
Yeah.
it just feels fun. Yeah.
And you're out here and you're busting a move. Do you find that,
you.
like, because obviously the voice was why we know you.
Yeah.
Is that easy for you, the dancing stuff?
Honestly, what's hard is singing and dancing and trying to breathe all at the same time. Because I'm forgetting to breathe because I'm so conscious of, like, the moves and my voice. But I'm getting better at it.
Good. We don't want to lose you, not on my watch.
No.
Okay. And that song, What Do You Mean? I like it 'cause it's your little cry from the heart
Yeah.
to the women of the world.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they mean. Is that the thing you don't?
I never know what they mean. I never know.
But all boys don't know what girls mean.
Yeah, that's why we needed an anthem.
I know just boys walking down the street. What do you mean?
Yeah, next time you're in an argument with anyone, just be like, yo, what do you mean?
That's the great thing about boys. You know exactly what they mean. It's all good. Now, new album,
Yep.
Purpose. That's out November the 13th.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it is. Hey, that's the thing. And presumably you'll come back and tour with this, won't you?
Yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to actually come back to London and tour here as well.
Oh, excellent. Please come and see us again, Justin. We love having you here. Oh, thank you so much. Justin Bieber, everybody! Listen, it's been a packed show, so no time for red chairs tonight. Just time to say thank you to all my guests tonight. Justin Bieber, Bradley Cooper, Sienna Miller, Alex Jennings, and Dame Maggie Smith. Join me next week with pop star Ellie Goulding, National Treasure Julie Walters, rapper 50 Cent, Oscar winner Kate Winslet, and the mighty Michael Fassbender. I'll see you then. Good night, everyone.
A cast of Snake